Hey YouTube, Nurse Mark here. Let's talk about one of my favorite topics, coffee. But before we start with this video, I'd like to address the pink unicorn in the room. This mug. This mug was made by my niece. I love this mug. Coffee tastes better out of this mug. Why does the unicorn have blood red eyes? I don't know. I'd like to think that maybe the unicorn's coming back from battle and he's drenched in the blood of his enemies. It's pretty savage for a 3-year-old making a mug if you think about it. So, what are the benefits and consequences of coffee? Well, if you come here, you want a fitness approach, but you also kind of want a medical approach. That's why you came to Nurse Mark. So let's do what we do in nursing. Let's take a systems approach, head to toe. I'm a genius. That's a nursing term. So the first things first, head, neurological, brain. What are some of the benefits on the neurological system of coffee? Well, there's some evidence out there that says that coffee can be neurologically protective. It can delay early onset dementia or just dementia, as well as Alzheimer's. Things that from a medical perspective, you don't want. Consequences of the neurological system with coffee? Anybody ever drank just a little bit too much coffee and you get the jitters and what feels like anxiety and potentially palpitations? Yeah, that's probably because you drank too much coffee. So let's talk about cardiovascular, your heart. Well, there's a lot of what we call null research, meaning that there's no negative and no positive benefit to your cardiovascular system with coffee consumption. And there's a couple of studies out there that have shown that it can actually raise your LDL cholesterol. That's bad. That's a bad cholesterol. It's not 100% beneficial for your heart, but it's not 100% negative. There's a lot of evidence that it just kind of doesn't do a whole lot to your ticker. Now, having said that, taking that coffee consumption in excess sometimes can lead to palpitations. I'm going to use my old man from this reference. So my dad would drink like 18 cups of Tim's a day, right? I film in Canada, so Tim Hortons is the thing if you didn't know. No. Oh, that was Canadian. My word. Anyways, he drank coffee to excess. It was ridiculous. Ended up starting to get something called PVCs, preventricular contractions, which is like an arrhythmia. And his doctor went to his doctor, and his doctor's like, "Oh, well, like, how much coffee do you drink in a day?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know, 72 cups." And the doctor's like, "No, that's too much, man. What are you doing?" So, in excess, too much caffeine, which is actually the problem, not the coffee specifically, but too much caffeine can cause arrhythmias, tachycardia, palpitations, can have negative consequences. So, everything in moderation, including in moderation. I think that was Ozzy Osbourne. Another thing, metabolic syndrome. So, your metabolism, right? Coffee actually has beneficial effects on your metabolism. We see increased insulin sensitivity. We see increase in fat metabolism with people that drink coffee. And we also see an increase in the hormone ghrelin, which is responsible for like appetite. So you find a lot of times on like YouTube channels and fitness pages, they say, hey, drink coffee, right? And it decreases your appetite. Well, that's because the stuff that comes in this glorious brown liquid can actually help you lose weight. That seems like a video all to its own. So moving on to the liver. This girl right here. If you're like me and you like breweries and you like beer, you've probably done a number or two on this over the years. I'm sorry, sweetheart. But on the bright side, coffee has also been shown to be liver protective in moderate doses, 3 to 6 cups a day. So that's good. So if you're worried about doing damage to your liver from coffee, not a whole lot of evidence to that. And lastly, let's talk about your GI tract. This is the one that usually gets the most hate and negativity, and I get it. So coffee is considered an acidic drink. Its pH is about 5. Your stomach acid is about 1.5 to 3.5. And what they often say about coffee is that when you consume it, it can have negative effects on your absorption of nutrients when you eat food. The other thing that it can that's been talked about is because it is a little bit more acidic, you can get stuff like reflux. You can get, well, reflux is basically heartburn, right? They worry about the formation of like gastric ulcers when you drink too much coffee. And that is true. All of those things are 100% true. One thing to keep in mind though, orange juice and pop and beer, have worse effects on that than your coffee does. Lastly, all-cause mortality, which means all of the things that can kill you. Coffee's been shown to be protective in all-cause mortality. People who drink 3 cups of coffee a day on average have lower all-cause mortality than people that don't. Suck it, tea drinkers. So, how much coffee is too much? Well, they say anywhere between 3 and 6 cups of coffee a day is healthy, which is equivalent of about 300 to 600 milligrams of caffeine, which is generally in line with what a lot of health authorities around the world say. Anything beyond about 900 milligrams of caffeine a day has been shown to start having those negative effects. So most health authorities and most experts out there say 3 to 6 cups of coffee a day is about the sweet spot. Now that's all dependent on who you are. Some people can have a cup of coffee and just start throwing PVCs like crazy. Other people can drink a liter of it and nothing will happen. So in general, coffee has more beneficial effects than it does negative. Or they have the kind of null effects where it's like, it doesn't really do anything for you. It doesn't really do anything against you. So if you like coffee, get it in you. Keep that 3 to 6 cup a day limit. And other than that, enjoy your cup of brown. That sounded disgusting. That's it, guys and girls. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and as always, eat like a bodybuilder and train like a powerlifter.